bear, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first on the agenda was Brandon. We probably wait if he shows up later and come back. We have representatives from the REACT team here.
I guess we haven't taken and found that lease. So I don't know what we need to do the next point.
I'll probably defer to Kevin here, but seemed like what documentation it had that back in 2013 the organization became inactive, and then it was picked up again in 2016. And I guess we haven't been able to find any legal document that talked about the 99-year lease. You'd find more of a board minutes under Mr. Milbrandt at that time, waiting for some commissioner approval on that. So Kevin had other Indiana code there, so I don't know, Kevin, you want to comment on this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if the first question, I guess, is whether or not REACT has a legitimate lease on the ground. And there's three, I think, very good reasons why they don't. One is that, well, there's one reason why they do, why they would have an argument that they do, is that they did bring it to the commissioners, and we did find it in the minutes that there was an expression that they wanted them to have a lease on that ground. Unfortunately, it stopped there. There was actually no lease ever drafted. So the corporation that came there, they incorporated themselves, and they were incorporated at the time through the Secretary of State. And they didn't, I don't know what happened back then, but they didn't get a lease drafted. So you have to, one, have a written lease. Two, if it's going to be longer than 3 years, it has to be recorded to be valid. It's similar to a deed, like if they still had the lease, for example, that arguably it would be a valid lease, but it's never been recorded. So they would have to be recorded. It hasn't been recorded. And then since then, as you pointed out, Chuck, the corporation that did exist disbanded, and then it was reincorporated under a different name. So technically the entity that with which the commissioners dealt with, that when they verbally agreed to a 99-year lease, no longer exists. So I'd say we're just have a clean slate here of what you want to do with that property and with your relationship with REACT.
And that's kind of what, we don't want to disband the organization. What we want to do is sell the property, and that's where we were trying to get options. We asked a couple of times to see what's in the building, what's stored there, if it's feasible for us to just move that equipment somewhere else. We've never been able to get into the building to see what's there. Another option would be if we chose to leave it there, we would have to reassess the property, set off a certain section of it where it would stay and sell the rest. But again, until we know what's in there, and I think at one point in time, county is looking into trying to get rid of some of its unused equipment. That if there's anything in there that you didn't want, they can go on that, but the proceeds from the sale would come back to your organization. So again, without knowing what's in there, we don't know if it's what's in there has ever been used, what the building is actually used for, you know, that type of thing. So you might share some of that if you have that information.
Okay, well, we've got the big red box truck, and then we've got, 2 other vehicles that we've got in there. And we've got our generators, our portable lighting, and we keep our files out there. Generators, I mean, that's basically what we've got out there. I mean, the vehicles alone, Big Red, we call it Big Red, the big red box truck, takes up pretty well the length of that building. I mean, there's not much more length behind that once it gets in there. And then the height is that doorway. I mean, it don't have very much room to clear the height of that doorway. So, I mean, that's basically what's out there right now. Well, the big red truck is where we keep our communication things, our radios and stuff. And we're wanting to take, and the other one is a generator truck. And we're wanting to take and do that one, get that one up in, fixed up where we can use that one too. The other one, we're just trying to see, you know, what we can take and do with, we're trying to get the club going more, you know, expand more and stuff. And once we can get it expand more, that's what we're looking at, is being able to use these vehicles more.
Who purchased the equipment that's in there, the generators, the trucks?
React.
They had fundraisers to get the money, or?
Yeah. I mean, this is stuff that was been in there and stuff. I mean, I just came into this in 19. So I'm still trying to, you know, get used to it. But what I've been told, this stuff has been there. And this is the stuff that we use, like the generators out there at the state park and stuff and everything. But it was stuff that has been what they've bought. So.
Does it all run? Does the trucks run?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Angela Jennings.
So I would say one of the things we want to consider having a 5-year lease, for example, that just makes it clear that you're going to upkeep the property, which looks like a good job. What other type of things would be in the lease, Kevin?
Well, I think first you're gonna have a conversation. Since the issue of whether or not, what to do with that property has come up and been brought to the council, there's that goofy statute that says the council is supposed to set the terms of the sale of the property that you can effectuate the sale. And we were in the midst of that when this lease issue came up. So I don't know that we could just lease it now to react without going back to council and asking them what they want to do with this property. If they're on board with that, then we can do that. Obviously, you're not going to want to lease it if you want to sell it. Obviously, nobody wants to kick React out without having the space. So I don't know that you need to craft a solution this minute, but no, they're not going anywhere. The building's not going anywhere. I mean, I don't know what you want to do long-term with that property. I mean, just practically, I wouldn't lease it and then try to sell part of it and try to sell the rest of it. But otherwise, you can craft any lease you want, but react on any building you have.
Well, I'd like to send it back to the council, and I'd like to get a lease going with them for just a little bit of it and sell the rest of the land.
you're gonna lease part of it to sell the rest, you're gonna have to be very clear with what you're selling. So you're gonna have to probably get a survey done.
And
What
the
you're
buyer
keeping and what you're selling.
can, the purchaser will do that.
Can the buyer do that?
We
Of
have,
course, if you wanna, if they, you can get somebody to agree to do it.
yeah.
Most of the time, people don't say, I'll buy your ground and I'll do a survey of what you want to sell.
The problem is that they don't know exactly what they're purchasing, so we would need to survey it first and then have a legal description. Yeah, the buyer could pay part of the survey charges, if they would agree to it, but I think it's cleaner just to survey it first, have a legal description.
That probably needs to be done before it goes to council, just so they have that as an option.
Yeah.
Possible. Okay, so that kind of sounds like a plan. We're gonna get the property surveyed, kind of, go out there and mark off what we think would be set aside for your organization. And, but then it would go back to the council to see if they, agree with that and move on from there.
Okay.
If there is an existing survey of the parameters of the property?
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
just have to figure out
Yeah.
what you're carving out.
Okay, so then we're looking at taking and being able to possibly stay there then?
We would need
Okay,
to take it. So,
First, we need to survey off, okay, what part of the property stay and create it under a new lease. If it's half an acre, if it's 6/10 of an acre or whatever, then that's what the new lease would identify. And we
okay,
would try and sell off the rest.
okay.
Okay?
So a question is, does it look like this barn serves your purpose going forward, the vision of what you're wanting to do? How
The,
important?
the building that we've got now?
Yes,
Yes, I mean, we would like to stay there. I mean,
okay,
it's perfect area. I mean, we can easy access of getting in and out and stuff and everything when we need to. And yeah, that's what we're always wanting to try to do is stay there.
okay.
Okay, we'll work on it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
John? John is here to discuss, cardboard situation, pickup, and, recommendations for increasing our disposal rates.
Thank you.
What I've given you is a list of the 73 stops that we make in the county for cardboard pickup, and then the proposed amount per stop or per week that we would charge them. And on the bottom, it would be about $1,900 weekly, and that totals $98,800 yearly, assuming that all these people would continue with cardboard pickup.
Do you know how you would handle, invoicing?
No, that's something that we talked about earlier. When you do this, you're gonna create a whole new bureaucracy of who's gonna bill them, who's gonna invoice them, who's gonna collect the money. So, personally, as far as, you know, my job, I don't know that that falls under me or not. I would think that, the treasurer in her office would probably be the best option for that, since she's dealing with money coming into the county anyway. But it needs to be centralized where, I would say quarterly billing at the minimum, preferably biannual or annual. So that way it doesn't create a constant stream of paperwork.
Yes.
So this is one option. Do you have any other options?
As far as, if we could,
What to do
we could
with
just
this
delete it
cardboard?
in general, that would be great with me. But I don't think you're gonna get the community to, go along with that. You know, as far as, you know, we have the expense of 2 trucks, 4 people for 2 to 3 hours a day just to do this list. So this would definitely cover quite a bit of that cost. And still be fair, and we based it on how much cardboard is picked up per location and how much trouble it is at each location, like say Braun, for instance.
Have you mentioned to any of them that we want to start filling?
We've mentioned it in passing, not haven't, you know, I don't want to start a rumor mill.
Yeah.
So I know that, a couple of you have talked to people, so. I don't know what other options you would like.
So currently, you have any idea of your profit or loss dealing with cardboard right now? Is that profit loss figure ever come up? Do you have a rough idea?
I would say right now, we're probably including all of recycling, and we would be at a not even break even as far as, you know, the fuel costs, the cost of the people. So
Just the cardboard alone?
this is just cardboard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you don't have a profit or loss on cardboard in itself?
No. I can get that figure for you, but it's, the problem with cardboard is it's a market just like anything else. So, you know, this month you would get, say, $160 a ton. Next month, you might get $60 a ton. So it's pretty hard to project what kind of income you're gonna get from that.
So if part of these were to say, we no longer want you to pick it up, we'll just put it in the dumpster and pay to have it taken away that way, how does that affect you? That really wouldn't be a problem.
No, I did have one customer or one person who said that, you know, basically they couldn't believe that we would want to charge for it. They said, well, we'll have to pay to get a bigger dumpster. So, one way or the other, they're gonna have to pay to get rid of it. And if there's one thing that would go to a landfill, I'd rather see it be cardboard than plastic or, you know, steel or tin. Cardboard would be gone in a couple of weeks, you know, as far as the way it breaks down. I'm not in favor of that. I'm just saying that.
When do you feel these could take effect?
I would think that they would need a couple months' notice that it's gonna be coming down the pike. So I would say probably by July, you should be ready to go.
So I even think county-wise, we need to, deal with the paper trail of it all. So is
Yeah.
this a treasure collection billing kind of thing? There's several names on here. Need to work through that as well. Up to Lisa or Laura, have any opinion? Any opinion? No. Yeah. Okay.
I talked with her briefly, but I don't want to speak for her. I sure wouldn't want to make any decisions without her.
And the other thought, if they come up with their own compaction unit, do you pick up the compaction, or do they, how would that work?
We have 2 facilities right now that bale their own cardboard, and they just give us a call when they've got 4, 5, 6 bales, and we go pick it up. Very convenient. I wouldn't even charge them for that, because you can just go there, pick it up, and bring it back. It's easy.
So if
There's-
some of these would say, well, we would like to bail it at this point now, in lieu of a charge, and there would be no charge for something that's already.
I think that'd be fair, because they have the expense of baling. Baling, it does cost money. You know, you've got the electricity to run the baler, and then baling wire is extremely expensive right now.
I think that would be reasonable, to give all of the, customers options, what to do.
Right.
If they wanted to bail it, or if the largest one wanted to get some of their dumpsters, that would even be an option. If they wanted to buy their own dumpsters, for example, because the largest one here, it looks like they might need a couple of options. You know, either bailing it or their own dumpsters.
Correct. Braun definitely needs to buy a baler. There's no question about that. The amount of cardboard they produce, I don't know why they refuse to get with modern times, but they definitely need to consider baling their own cardboard, at least in one of the plants, plant 3.
Now, I would say, when the county, forces to get with modern times, that others will respond as far as the pickup. When we're offering a pickup, there's no need for anyone else to monitor it. So I think part of that's our responsibility.
Correct. And there's no doubt that this is the attitude among most of these people is, well, you guys pick it up for free.
Right.
And so they just expect it.
Yeah. But that's not going to be an option going forward.
Some of these companies are probably in close enough proximity that if purchase a baler together, take it 1 block themselves and dump it, bale it, and so on. So there are some options.
You know, and they're free to put it in a truck and bring it to us. There's no reason why they can't. CFS, they bring us plastic jugs all the time, but they refuse to bring the cardboard. So I don't know. It's as simple as loading it in a pickup truck and bringing it to us. It's convenient.
So we have a few options. Deliver your own, buy a baler, or be charged for the pickup. Basically, 3 options, isn't it?
Correct.
Well, and then the fourth one would be, buy their own dumpsters. Because like if Braun had their own dumpsters and you just went and picked up a dumpster, that would be an option. Is that correct?
I think that in that case, I think there still should be some sort of a charge.
Yeah.
Maybe not as extreme, but there, you know, you've got a truck that's got to go down there, plus the people that's got to run the truck and the time. And then it's not just as easy as dumping it. Our facility doesn't allow our truck to back into where the cardboard baler is at to dump. So you have to drag it out with a backhoe or go in with a skid loader. So that's even more fuel.
And this is not a recommendation. This is only an example. If it's clean cardboard, that charge could be $300 for a dumpster. If it's trash, everything mixed together, then that charge would be $600 or $800 for a dumpster. It's just an example. I feel that then they can make their own choice of what they want to put in it.
Well, that's true, but I'd rather not get into the trash service of picking up trash around. We have enough trouble the way it is.
Okay. I think, as you said, probably need a couple months lead out on this to see how we're going to deal with it in-house, first of all, with our county offices. Then create 3 proposals and make it known to companies of their choices, correct?
Correct.
So doing this, I think we still need a motion to move forward in dealing with this cardboard issue by presenting our businesses with a proposal, maybe by August 1st. Does that sound reasonable, John?
I think so, yes.
August 1st, put a new plan into, operation. I would make that motion.
Okay, I would second that motion.
And there's other discussion.
Well, hey, do we wanna get with Teresa and make sure she can fill it out, get the paperwork? Then would it be up to Teresa to let them know that there's going to be a charge?
No.
Well, that's what we gotta work through yet. You know, that's part of my first part of the proposal was to deal with our in-house solution and get to the companies. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anything else, John?
Well, I know that's been brought up to, increase the charges at the transfer station. I would just caution that if we get the rate too high, you're gonna have a negative effect, and the money that you think you're gonna bring in is gonna go away, just like if you raise taxes, you think you're gonna bring in more, but people will find other avenues for the trash to go. So, if I was gonna increase anything at the transfer station, it would be, we currently charge 7 cents a pound for hard to handle items, which is construction basically. And that's like an optional, if we feel like it needs to be charged more because of the breakdown. I would recommend making that charge permanent, like it's always 7 cents or whatever you decide. And then leave the regular trash price the same.
Well, so I think one of the challenges we have are the costs are going up of getting rid of trash. And I know that council has asked us to discuss this and make sure that gap doesn't widen. And I feel that we can't really worry about the unintended consequences of what people choose to do with it. And so, obviously, we want to continue the transfer station, but I know that there were some concerns about the deficit not widening, not getting greater. So,
What are the fees? Are the fees going up when you take it to the landfill?
Yes, those fees increased 20%. First one was actually mid-January.
does the fuel cost more when you take it to the landfill?
The fuel,
Does fuel price cost more when you take it to the landfill now than what it did last year?
oh yes, definitely. Fuel costs are double what they were last year.
So I think these are the things that we're looking at to try to cover those costs. I think that's what we're looking at, to try to cover those costs.
Sure.
Does people complain about the price when they dump their stuff?
It can go either way. Some people can't believe how cheap it is, and then other people will berate you for the 50 cents.
Wow.
So, but yes, it's a mix. Usually if they complain too much, I just tell them that the landfill is 17.3 miles away. They're welcome to go there.
Well, for sure. That's a great answer. And they'll go there one time and then come back.
Exactly.
Well, how are we per ton compared to a neighboring?
The Liberty landfill where we take our trash, for a average Joe coming in off the street has a minimum charge. I believe it's $74.
How many?
$74 is their minimum charge. If you go across the scale, like you pull up with a pickup truckload of stuff and you just want to pay to get rid of it, it's $75 right off the get-go. And then if you want to pay by the ton, it's the $74 plus, I think it's $56 per additional ton.
What if I had my 2 little bags? Liberty take it?
Well, they would, but the minimum charge is $74.
I don't think we can probably get by.
Well, I think you've
I
answered
mean,
the question.
even I would quit.
Yeah. So incremental charges per bag are.
Yeah,
Well, sounds like we're real cheap.
Yeah.
I think I pay $2 when I go, maybe 3.
yeah.
And if I have a 5, I tell them to keep it so they don't go in the hole. But, or I'd have to think twice.
John, thanks for starting this.
I'm thinking maybe in order to answer the council a little bit more precise, you could go back to last year, look at what the costs are this year. But an idea, because that's a huge expense of 20%.
Sure.
So how do we deal with that 20%? And, I think the community's got to realize that, hey, it's only so much in the budget, your budget to do things. I think that would help you prepare when you go to the council and say, this is what I need in my budget
Right.
to keep us going. So that's going to be part of August, I think. So it gives you time to say, okay, this is serious stuff, me, that.
Right.
How can I put all this in
Definitely
my
looked,
budget?
and this last week I've been reviewing those numbers,
Okay,
or especially the fuel and the landfill increase.
Right. yeah, okay, so we'd appreciate if you'd kind of put that together in a document,
Okay.
maybe sometime in July, and then that way we could see it before the council, your budget time,
Okay.
okay? Anything else for John? Anything from you, John? Good?
Yeah, so far we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody here to speak for Brandon? Hey. Maurice, parking lot,
Okay, we have gotten, 3 proposals. One of them is well under the, amount that is approved by the council, and I would like to make a motion to allow County Highway to take those proposals into advisement and, then choose one of them that is under the budget.
okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
Also,
All in favor, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed,
Be the time frame on that again.
the time frame, Gary?
Timeframe, between the 3 contractors that submitted bids, it's their busy time. So it'll be done before the end of the year, I can tell you that.
We'd sure like a target of, mid-July if possible.
Yeah, when we make the decision and we make a phone call and see, when they possibly think they might get it done, I'd say by the middle of July, possibly the 1st of August, it could be done.
Okay,
But I can't speak for the contractors.
Okay,
all right.
other business, the, approval and signing of the claims payroll in.
Okay, I have, looked at payroll number 10, and looked at the claims, and I would, make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, any other discussion? Favor say aye.
Aye.
We have the approval and signing of the May 2nd regular meeting minutes.
Okay, I make a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any other discussion on the minutes? Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Have a conference request from Jolynn to attend the 2022 annual Clerks Conference, June 13th through the 15th, Indianapolis.
I would make a motion to approve that request.
Moved and seconded. Other discussion on the conference request? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Might go back to Brandon's request. I don't think there would be much discussion from Brandon on this. If you remember, he needed permission to purchase a controlled substance storage unit, storage vault. And he had a proposal there from the company that was at $2,651. Assuming that this is something that is needed, or he wouldn't have been asking for it. I would make that motion to give him permission to purchase this storage vault for controlled substance.
Okay, I would second that.
Other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, do you have any community comments? Forward, please. Eric.
I don't have an appointment, but this just came up. Would it be possible to talk about it for just a minute?
Come up to this chair and talk into the mic.
Yes, sir.
Gary, you're next.
I'm sorry, did I beat you to it? Okay. Good morning. As you might know, last week I went to the council to talk about our COVID reimbursement money. We now have $78,000 in that fund. And we are to spend it for health department needs. And what we do need right now is another state approved refrigerator, freezer to keep our vaccines in. We are just packed in this. Unfortunately, those are very, very expensive, and we would like your permission to purchase another one. We would get a stackable one this time because the nurse's office is so small. But the price for that is $9,008.77 for them to come and hook that up. I know that's a lot of money, but our vaccines, we are still booked solid every Wednesday, every 15 minutes, giving the second booster shot. And we are booked out several weeks just doing the second booster, not counting all of our childhood vaccines, all of our adult vaccines that we're still doing, plus our lead and hemoglobins for all the children going to school, and all of our TB testing and those type of things. It's just, we're getting busier and busier. Our refrigerator and freezer we have now are full to the gills, fuller than they should be. And the refrigerator, the extra refrigerator that we have in there is just a regular kitchen refrigerator freezer, which we are not allowed to have vaccines in. That's what we keep our flu shots and that type of thing in. But it's 15 years old. And we monitor that every day, and it fluctuates so much with the temperature that we'd really like to get one of these if possible. And we can't think of a better thing to spend part of our money on than this if we could.
Part of your money or all of your money?
Part of it. We have $78,000.
And what was this one?
$9,008.77.
I thought you said 90 when you.
No.
Whoa.
No. That'd be a fabulous
This can't be
refrigerator
it.
freezer.
That's something you would move to go to the moon or something.
No.
Okay, do you get a second quote, or is that a company?
No, this is the company that the state uses.
I see.
This is the company that makes them for all the health departments. And we do, this is actually the lowest quote, to tell you the truth, from their company. That's why they use it. And this is just the same company that we have our others too.
Terry, where did you say put this one at?
This will be in the nurse's office where we already have the others too, and we would move out the big refrigerator, and I'm not sure what we would do with that. There might be another office that might be interested in it. We would talk to maintenance and see if they know of someone that might need it or.
Okay, well, since it's 9,000 something rather than 90.
And we did, the council did give us permission, instead of coming to them for every appropriation, they did allow us to spend $25,000, you know, anything over 2,000, we get your permission. And they approved a printer and a shredder, so that still gives us about 20,000, and this would take, of course, that down to 10,000 more that we could spend without coming back to get reappropriated or to get the permission. But this is something that,
Okay, so we would need a motion to approve Terry's request.
I'll make a motion to approve Terry's request for $9,000 for good refrigerator.
Probably need the exact amount. Terry, you got it?
that's what they quoted us,
$9,877.
$1,008.77.
Let's start over. 9,008.
Yeah, 9008.77.
Got it.
I need to see if it's a GFI. I'm gonna have my electrician look at that. I don't know. Well, we need to make sure that this is hooked to the generator. I know that they had done wiring in there, so I need to make sure. And if this isn't hooked to where the generator would kick, I will be back to discuss that with you. Okay? Because we don't want to lose any vaccines or so. And then I will be back to talk about our fee schedule, because our adult vaccines are so expensive now that we're going to come back to probably increase our fee schedule for our adult vaccines, because we're not even breaking even on a few of those, like hepatitis B and Tdap, you know, tetanus and some.
Okay, well, we have a motion on the table. Did we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? The freezer. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Thank you. Next time, I promise I'll make an appointment.
What is the time frame on getting the freezer?
Fairly quickly,
Fairly
I
quick.
believe, but I want to check on the, like I say, the
Our-
GFI and I want to make sure it's hooked to the generator and all that. So I'll get right on that. I thank you very much.
Gary.
Yeah, good morning. Mine's not very quick. I just need the signatures for our consulting firm for our compliance month is September for our bridge inspections. And I just need your signatures so I can forward the information on to NDOT for more paperwork. So I just had you sign it afterwards. That's all I
We'll do
had.
that. Okay, Gary. Others? Larry?
Okay. Yep.
And the other thing I got is a quote from J&K HVA Service. The tube heater in the Sally Port is irreplaceable, can't find parts, so it needs to be replaced. Right now, the current quote is $5,580, which with everything going up, quote was only good for 30 days. It's a tube heater for the Sally. Tube, the radiant heater.
Okay, so that hangs on the ceiling.
Yes,
Yeah.
yep. Which all of our sprinkler system is in the Sally Port.
Is that a heating and cooling unit or just heating unit?
Just heating only.
This is more for, this is a maintenance, maintenance is responsible for this.
Yeah, I talked with Steve Monday, and at the time, they didn't have the funding for it.
Okay.
I have funding,
You have,
correct.
he
Believe
does
that's
not
what
have.
Wendy said, right? Sheriff
Okay.
Department? I didn't know anything about it. Okay, I talked with Steve.
Larry, what you're looking for is for us to approve it.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so I would make a motion to approve the tube heater, radiant tube heater from J&K for $5,580.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You got Cam, you?
Morning.
Morning. I know we already spoke to you, Maurice, but, yeah, we were needing to get approval. We met with Centus for, they do paper products, cleaning supplies, all that type of thing. They also supply all of the, dispensers, which would be toilet paper dispensers, soap and, paper towel towel dispensers. We're good right now on supplies, probably won't start it for a couple of months. But it's, I feel like in the long run, I think it's gonna save us money doing it this way than going through Staples like we have been to, purchase all that stuff. So, but we do have to do a contract. Did you email that to you? Did you get that, Maurice?
Yes. Or matter of fact, no, I did not.
You did.
I did not.
Okay. I forwarded it to you. Must not. Okay, but we did get,
You happen to have one handy with you?
I don't have the contract. I didn't print that one off, no.
Okay.
But, I know that it said we had to spend at least $35 a month. I know that. Which I feel like that's cheap.
Yeah.
Compared to what we would normally spend. We are, like I said, fully
Okay,
stocked. So,
I do apologize. I do have it here. Yeah. And so,
I have a question while Maurice is looking for that. Our ADM meeting, that these should be handicap, I guess, accessible, whereas the dispensers could be operated with one hand, basically, what they were saying.
And we talked with Olivia on that, and everything will be ADA compliant. All the soap dispensers and the paper towel dispensers are automatic.
they come and install them. If they need to be removed, they take them out. They bring everything. If we don't need something, we just say we don't need that. And if we're not charged for anything,
Larry, at one point, did you say they would fill the dispensers when they delivered?
Yes.
That's a possibility, yes.
Oh,
But some of the areas they will not be able to have access to.
is that additional fee probably? if they
No,
fill it?
it's all included. And the other thing we was looking at is, they rent rugs.
Pardon me?
The carpets, like in the courthouse and stuff, ours are pretty dilapidated. They change, once a week, they'd change them out and.
So, yeah, I met with them there on Thursday. I have seen companies like this where they've done work. I think I trust what Tammy's asking here, and I would make the motion to approve that contract. The contract I have here is basically a blank contract, but it's fill in the blank, $35 a week would be the charge. I think that makes sense, especially with short help and getting all of this done.
And then on the other side of that whole thing, as I spoke to Maurice when we met with Olivia, was, with the court
remodel of all of that, then there would be, all of the dispensers would be provided, it wouldn't be a cost to the county. You know, when that's all done, because they will come and put them in, they change the batteries, they do all of that.
And, there is, would be pause on it. Am I saying that right? There's a pause on it.
We can pause it for, during that time when the courthouse is being done, it kind of pauses that we're not being charged for any of that, or, you know, because we're not there, obviously, so.
We're charged on a per use basis, I believe.
It is. It depends on how much we use of, you know, cleaning supplies, soap, all of it.
Well, it sure looked like it made sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it made sense in multiple ways. So I think it's
And I believe is what, we have to have a 3-year.
36 months.
yes.
So a start time would be in a month or two after you apply.
I would say probably, I would say 2, because we're really stocked right now, and, you know, like I explained it to Olivia, I said, you know, we stocked up, we weren't sure about, you know, with everything going on and shipping and being able to get stuff, so we stocked up, and I said, I don't want to spend more money to get more stuff until we get rid of, you know.
So that date is still flexible in this contract, if we say August 1st, or
Right,
we could
yeah.
call and say, well, come in 2 weeks. Or,
Yes.
so we have a motion there, Maurice, right?
Yes.
To begin the contract maybe on August 1st.
Also,
Mike has seconded that. Any other discussion? Favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and,
And hey, I do appreciate the job you're doing. I know you're short on help, down one part-time person, but, I know there's been a lot of extra
got that taken care of.
dust and stuff, but I sure appreciate the job you've done.
Thank you, appreciate it,
Yes, both inside and outside.
thank you.
We do have an application from Upka that hire this person. I think that's his business. Part-time person found that. Okay, anything else? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, need a motion to adjourn?
Okay, as far as other business, as we come up into budget time, health screening is something that I want to get going. I talked some with council. So, that's something I'd like to get into budget, and get going for all employees and elected officials. And so, yeah, that's all I have in additional business. So I would make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
I talked to the county surveyor here, probably about a month ago,
Yes.
about a ditch problem.
well, that's the drainage board.
that's the next
That's the
meeting.
drainage board. Is the drainage board here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right behind you.
But
Oh, okay.
So this is the
Okay,
meeting.
okay, I'm sorry.
We'll close this one.
Close this
Okay,
one,
all
open
right,
that one.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
all right, I didn't know.
There we go. Now we make a motion to adjourn the commissioner meeting.
So moved. We're
Yeah.
done.
Okay. And I'll turn this off.